Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. Thanks for tuning in. It's been quite a while actually since I made a video about a video recorder. I was looking through some of my machines the other day and I thought this one here would make quite an interesting video because it's quite an unusual machine. I say it's unusual for the fact that it doesn't have a tuner or a clock, as you can see on the front there. It's quite bare looking, isn't it, without it? It's a Sanyo BETACORD and it's a VTC-1000. I've had this probably nearly 2 years now. It was working when I first got it. I haven't tested it since. My plan was to digitise some tapes with it because out of all my machines this is the one that's probably only working very well, or was back then. At the time of buying this, when I looked up about it, I couldn't find any information whatsoever. Even all my video magazines that I've collected over the years, I couldn't find any articles about it whatsoever, which led me to believe it might be an import. But looking at the back of it, the voltage selector there is 220 or 240. 240 is what we use here in the UK and 220 is usually Europe. It also has BNC connectors for the composite video in. In America and Japan it's usually just standard RCAs. So it's good that it's got video in and out. That means I can test it with a signal. And it has an antenna in and out as well. I guess that's just a pass through for older TVs as well, so you can play it back via RF. And you've got a channel adjustment on the bottom there. And over this side you've got the information badge. The serial number there, 284 is probably the beginning, and then you've got 31831, so it's quite a high serial number. Wattage is just 24 watts. I guess with it not having the clock or the tuner board, obviously that usually draws about 10-15 watts. It's going to use a lot less power, and it looks like we've got an area there that's blanked out. In fact, I can feel behind there a socket, so maybe this is one of those ones that might have had a camera input, maybe, who knows. And looking across the front here, it's quite sparse. You've got a on standby button, eject, record, rewind, play, fast forward, stop, pause, still. Just a bit of a logo there where the clock would normally be. Nothing across the bottom there apart from here. There's a little tracking knob. And light-wise, you've just got a power on button and a dew light. And you also get some LED indicators for the other buttons. As you can see on the top there, the lid's not quite staying down very well, not quite flush, so I'll address that as well. But yeah, in today's video we're going to test this out again, see if it's still working, and then we'll have a look inside of it and see what's actually in there. I should imagine it's going to be a lot more sparse than the usual machines, because it does feel quite lightweight. I'd say it's probably about 5 kilos. Usually they're sort of 8 or 9, aren't they? But they're saying that though, some of the other Sanyo BETACORDs are quite light because they're very plasticky for the time period. But yeah, it looks quite an unusual looking machine. It almost looks like an Hitachi. But the only other one I've spotted is on eBay at the moment. And that's a BCR-1000, the model number. It's got a different name on the front. I'll put a picture up on the screen. I think that was due to end today actually. So I'll check that out again later and see what it sold for. But that was in America. So the next thing to do then will be to set this up and test it. And see if it's still working. Fingers crossed it still is. So we'll do that next. Okay, so let's power it on. Still coming to life anyway. Nice eject. So what have I got here? One of our dinosaurs is missing. Always a good test. I'll probably have to mute the audio out actually, just in case I get a copyright strike on it. Just have a look at this tape actually. A little bit rough at the beginning because it's been wound back, but let's see if it's still going to do anything first. Make sure we're recording, yeah. Well, that doesn't sound good, does it? No. Not a happy machine. Sounds like the belt's completely gone actually. So before it did actually do something. Well, that's a shame. Now we're not getting anything. I bet if I press eject, I bet the tape's still right around the heads. No, it's not even ejecting. Oh dear. Not good. It sounds like it's probably laced up. And that's it, and it's basically it's not going to go any further. That's a shame. So it was working when I got it. So I guess the next thing to do then will be to open this up and have a look inside and see what's going on in there. Well, I thought this was going to be an easy video. Okay, so I just stopped the camera and I thought I'll press eject a couple of times again and play and stop, fast forward and everything, on off. And it's doing a bit more now. The tape ejected. There was a little bit of tape slack out of the cassette itself, but not a lot. But there was some cobwebs over it. But now it seems to be doing something. Well, it was. There we go. Right, it stopped again now. Right, it's fast forwarded now. That's working. Rewind's working. You can hear it lacing up now. And now it's playing. Let's see if anything's coming through. Wasn't quite ready for that, was I? Oh, I can see it stop now. It's struggling to play, basically. Yeah, it stopped. You see something's trying to come through, but it's playing really slowly. It might come back to life in a moment. It seems to be going a bit faster now. Oh, here we go, something's trying to come through. So this has not been used for probably nearly 2 years. It's always fun to see these machines coming back to life slowly. Tracking's not making any difference.
Incredible years after World War I.
It's a miracle, really, it's doing anything now. You see some definition there for it's trying to come through.
Of how I got the legendary Lotus X out of China once and for all. My real troubles began in a little hillside town near the Tibetan border.
Oh, there we go. No, it's working. Just about. I suspect the one of the belts, if there is one, is probably stuck in the same position for so long that it's got a funny shape to it and it's making it do that. Obviously this is an old tape as well, so yeah, I think we'll open this up next and have a look inside. Let's just try rewinding fast forward again. That seems to be working alright. Let's fast forward. Maybe those cobwebs are in the way. Let's try it there. That's at the end of the tape. Might be. Sounds so violent when it's lacing up. So yeah, we'll open this up next and take a look inside. Let's see what's going on. We'll have a look underneath first, I think. Okay, so I said taking the bottom off. I think I'm going to take the top off first because I'm interested to see what's in here, and I know you all will be too. So let's get the lid off, shall we? So I've never been into this. Nearly the 2 years I've had it, I think it's 2 years. Been in quite a lot of beta machines over the years, especially when I was a teenager. There's had to be some screws on the side here somewhere. Oh, I think they're under that. Of course I forget about that. Oh, just a bit of tape there. I think the other beta cords are the same, I'm sure they are. I've not worked on one of those though since probably about 1990. I wonder if someone's been in this before. Oh, actually, no, you can see the tab, that area there is broken on both sides. That's why it's not sitting down properly. Right, is that it? Is that all there is to it? Let's have a look. Here we go. Wow, look at that. There's a lot of it's like fur. See if we've got any dates stamped. Oh, here we go. And we've got the JP. It's pointing to sort of 81, 82. It says 1981, 82 and 83. They've got some month numbers there, but I can't quite make out what they are. So yeah, I was about right then with the date. So here we are, quite a lot in it actually. You can see an area here, look, where there's some slots for probably the tuner board. And there probably would have been a clock at the front there. So there's probably other versions of this. But there was a lot of fluff in here. That's probably where it struggled. I bet there's all sorts of dust and debris in this machine. I probably should have opened it up first, really, with hindsight. I'm sure some of you are probably screaming at me on the screen. But yeah, there's a lot of other stuff in there. Let me do some close-up so you can see. Here we go. So there's that slot. There's slot areas there for another board. But look at all that fluff and dust. It looks like fur. Power supply board there. I thought that might have been in a cage, but it's not been covered with anything. Yeah. And that multi-regulator, wow. But you can't get those anymore. Yeah, there's a lot of debris in here. It's going to need a good clean. It's going to be an interesting video, this. And you can see the cobwebs that I was talking about, some back there, look. There we go, there's a belt down there. Just down the bottom there. It's still quite tight. That's for the idler. Fast forward and rewind. We'll get that off next, have a look under there. I think anybody's ever been in here. If they have, they certainly didn't clean it. There we go. Wow. Another belt just there for the loading mechanism, for the tape loading mechanism. I think this is probably just going to end up needing a good clean. Just take you around the heads. It's certainly dirty. Yeah. I thought that might have been wear, but it's not. It's just dirt. Right, what's around here? Well, I think we'll have a look underneath of this next and see what's going on under there. I've got a bit of corrosion there. And I didn't. Don't remember that. Almost looks fresh. So while I've had this, it's been on its side on the shelf in the dry area in the house. Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever been in here. These screws are all very factory tight. There we are. All that there. That definitely looks like fur. But this board looks nice and clean, but obviously it's been face down, so it will be. We'll get that up next. A bit more fluff there, look. So I guess it's the red screws 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's on a hinge there for servicing. I can smell it. It's got that PCB smell that the Sony Trinicon cameras have. Either that or I'm having a stroke. Okay, here it goes. I think I've got them all. And there's no belt under here. See, direct drive capstan. Well, that's kind of good in a way, because I haven't got any belts to find, but there's loads more fur. Wow. Just look at that. It's almost like this was left in a shed or something and a cat slept on top of it. But yeah, direct drive capstan motor. That's the heads there. I think that's that one, that motor for the lacing up mechanism. And there's the motor for the idler wheel for the fast forward and rewind. Reed switch there. Probably another one under that. Wow. That's pretty clean. It feels so bare, doesn't it? It's almost like one of the later machines that had less in them, obviously, because they didn't need it all. Because around this time, some of the other machines had so much in them. I'm going to get the front off now and have a look at that and see where the clock would have gone, because I'm sure this chassis would have been used for another machine. Just going to pop one of these screws back in to hold it in place while I get the front off, so we can see what that looks like. It's come off now. Yeah. We've got an earth cable there, ground cable, piece of paper. Yeah, we've got a Couple of blanking areas there, look, for other buttons. And I guess that would have been where the clock went, but I don't know. There's no cutout there, I suppose, but date code on this one goes up to 1985. It's pointing to 1983. So yeah, 1983 then. Wow. And a quick look at the front. There we are. I think that's where the clock would have gone if it was going to have one. It's just so basic. Power C, there's another area there for another button. TV VCR, PAL CCAM, switch 3. And then another LED light area. TV VCR, different jumpers there. So this probably was, did end up in other countries, all we know it did, because it's one on eBay right now. Power up, always power up. Switch there. Weird. Yeah, so I think what we'll do next is give this a damn good clean. And we'll have a look over it, see if there's any leaking capacitors. There's bound to be some bad ones. Maybe that'll help with the picture being stable, but I think a good clean will help it first. Look at the heads. And see what happens after that. Okay, it's time to do some much needed cleaning. So get inside of this thing, get rid of some of this fur. I'm just going to use an old paintbrush, and I've got my little vacuum cleaner here to use. I spent nearly 10 minutes cleaning this out in the end. Some of it was quite hard to get out and had to use tweezers. And even later on when I was working on this, even more fur turned up. After I gave it a good clean, I looked over the main board there. I couldn't see any bad capacitors. Nothing physically leaking anyway. But of course that doesn't mean there aren't any problems. And at the back of the machine here you can see those sockets I could feel behind that cover. Okay, it's going to give these heads a bit of a clean. Well, I say the heads, not the heads themselves, just the drum, sorry. Because it's a little bit dark in places of dirt. And me putting that tape in has made a bit of a clean patch. I'll go around with some IPA and clean that pinch wheel there and all these other heads and sensors. And if there's any more fur in there, I'll hook it out with a cotton wool swab. But you really could do with a bit of a greasing up in here. I haven't got any silicone grease that's suitable for plastics, so I'm going to have to leave that for now. Looking back at this video, it looks like actually there was no grease on it to begin with. It may be one of those systems that didn't need it, but it could actually help quieten it down though. I'll have to do that in another video, but I want to have a closer look as well at the belt under here and the idler. It's a dual idler on this one. There's one above and there's one below. I suspect one's probably for fast forward and wind and one's for play. That could be another reason why the picture's being a bit uppity. If that idler's a bit cracked or worn or smooth, it won't be gripping this take-up spool properly. I might have some spares of that, I'll have to have a look. I don't have a BETAMAX head cleaner, but I don't like using them anyway, to be honest, because they can cause wear to the head itself. So I just use some IPA, some cotton wool buds for the drum itself, and on this occasion I use a very fine piece of smooth chamois leather and some IPA for the heads themselves. Sometimes I'll use a piece of plain paper with some IPA. I'm not recommending these ways, this is just the way that I do it. Okay, now it's time for the first test again since all the cleaning. It's just trying to come through again like it was the first time. Just adjusting the tracking there. Sorry about the picture flickering there, it's my mobile phone with the incorrect frame rate. Still off, isn't it? We've got a bit of tape slack there. I do think those idlers need some adjustment. It's not quite right. Oh, hang on, is it going to play now? Might be a case it's just not been used for such a long time. It might settle down after being playing for a while. Strange thing is, it's okay on here. That's juddering slightly, so maybe my monitor needs some adjustment. Oh no, it's settled again. Yeah, odd. But yeah, when I did the fast forward just then, that seems to be okay. Seems to have settled again now. rewind. Oh, the tape starts coming out. Oh, we don't want that. Yeah, so it's definitely got a problem with the rewind. Let's just press stop. Sounds a bit quieter compared to when I first turned it on. So I'm just doing a test recording my old faithful here, my VTC-1000 Sony Trinicon. I've actually got a picture coming through, but it turns out I've got a dodgy dry joint. So it's on this BNC input here, so I need to sort that out. Because as I wiggle it, the picture keeps going on and off. Okay, so I've done a test recording, it's working, although it's got a dodgy input like I mentioned before. One thing I keep forgetting to check actually is the rewind. I need to look at that, because I thought it was okay, but it's not. If I go into play mode and do rewind search, it all starts slacking out there and going loose. So basically that take up, that spool there is not going. It seems to be worse on some tapes than others, because this tape's actually rewinding. Well, it's not laced up, let's just adjust that. But if I get that first tape, one of our dinosaurs is missing. You watch, it'll probably work now. Press rewind. Yeah, it is working now, but before it was a bit slow. I guess some of these tapes are worn out. Again, fast forward works, let's try that. That works fine. That's the take up spool. If I press rewind, you see it all comes out again. So I need to have a look at that idler. I need to trick this into playing without a tape in to see which one it is, which idler it is that does a rewind. So let's have a look at that next. I need to get this out really to be able to look at it. So I think I'm going to do that next. There's 4 screws, 2 there. It's getting into them, isn't it? Well, there's 2 there. They're easy to get into. And there's 1 down there and 1 down in there. So have I got a screwdriver that will reach without bending anything? I have to use a pair of tweezers to try to get that out, that screw. You might actually lift it out with the whole mechanism. Just be careful I don't bend anything. Just about see it. There we go. So that's those 2 hard ones done. I think there's 2 on this one, yeah, 2. There's 2 on that one as well. There is. And that one's underneath. How am I going to get to that? Well, let's get these 2 done first. Yeah, some of these loading mechanisms are so hard to get out. And this is an easy top loader. Yeah, it's going to have to be both those screws. I guess you have to go at an angle. You probably can't see this on camera, so I'll probably edit this out. Well, that's frustrating. It looks like I'm going to have to take out the actual dampener as well. That's going to be more involved than I thought. So sometimes it's quite simple. It's usually the front loaders that are the troubles. It's going to be fun putting this back together. Here we go. It'll be funny feeling it's going to be a right mad to put that together. But at least I've had to get into it to give it a good clean. And there's even a ground cable attached to that, which is probably going to have to be undone from underneath. I can now see the 2 idlers. What I need to do now is trick it. There's a couple of sensors there. It's lacing up. That's the dampener there, and it's covered in fluff again here. So it's probably a good job I did open it up anyway, really. I'll keep all those screws to that side for that, so I don't get them mixed up. So many grounding points. Right, that's out now. That's going to be fun putting that back together, I can tell. Right, let's have a look at this. Okay, so let's trick this thing into playing. Can I press all these buttons at the same time and film? So there we go, you can see it going round there. Press rewind, just spinning, look, not doing anything. That is tight though. If it's not as free as that one, it's almost like the brakes on. It is. That is quite tight. Looking now. So it's the bottom one that's making contact then. That's going into play on its own, that's not me doing that. So, let's turn it back on again. Let's play. Let's see if that moves up. The brake's not coming off. Is it? That's a solenoid problem. So I don't think it's the idler wheel at all. I think that's fine. The brake is not coming off for some reason. Let's just try that again. Without crossing my fingers. I press rewind now. Yeah. Weird. But it works okay when the tape's inside the housing. Just not while it's laced up. I think I could probably live with that, to be honest with you. So I'm just testing them while I've got a stick over that now. I press rewind, keep that going so it doesn't stop. Got quite a bit of resistance there, so I don't think it's a problem with that idler. But for some reason when it's in play mode, if I press rewind, it's just skipping, just spinning. Just stop, do that again. Just play, press rewind, I'll put a bit of pressure against that. It's only the top one that's touching, you can't see it from your point of view. That centrepiece is separate. So that's moving around, that bit there look, and that bit's not. Weird. Then in rewind like that, when the tape's back into its mechanism, its case, the bottom wheel takes over and it hits the underside, not the black top piece. See, that's separate, look. So the white one is separate, these are two pieces, there's a white one underneath. So basically that top piece there underneath, the two separate pieces, the bottom wheel touches that white one and the top one touches that black one. Let's play. So it makes it go around, press rewind. It's not moving anything. The motor's spinning, put a little bit of pressure on it. It's quite stiff though, if it stops, because I'm not spinning that one. I wonder if it just needs a bit of lubrication. But then it works okay, doesn't it, and the tape's back in its housing. It's quite free then. Fast forward's fine. Let's go to play, try fast forward. That's fine. Again, it's just the top one touching there, you can just see it. The bottom wheel's not touching the bottom plate. I think I'm just going to leave this as it is, to be honest, because I'm happy it's working at all. It still rewinds okay while the tape is unlaced. And here we are, we're back and it's all back together. I'm pleased to say it's still working. In fact, I'm recording this now on a tape that's just as old as the machine itself. And here's the recording. We're using a Sony VTC-1000 from around the same period. So all this equipment here we're recording with now is over 40 years old, including the tape. Like I said, I'm pleased to say it's still working. The only problem I'm having issues with is the actual rewind mechanism. It seems to be quite stubborn at times. It seems to be alright once the tape's unlaced from the heads and it's back in the cassette housing. But to be honest with you, a lot of the BETAMAXs I've had over the years have been the same. Because obviously there's that tension going around the heads. But look, when I looked at the rewind mechanism itself, it seems to be quite stuck for some reason, but it was okay in search. Sorry, it was okay when the tape was actually out, as I demonstrated there. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what's wrong with that. I didn't want to investigate any further because I'm just happy to have a machine that's working so I can digitise all my tapes. I've got probably about 15 or 20 or so. I'm hoping there's going to be some old news articles on there and old commercials. If there's anything worth uploading, and if they look good enough, I'll put them on this channel, so stay tuned for that. So like I mentioned before, if anybody has any information about this video recorder, if they remember it, please let me know in the comments. I've not managed to find anything out about it whatsoever in any of my old What Video magazines, unless of course I missed it. I suspect it was probably made for sort of schools and colleges, because obviously with it just not having a clock or a tuner and just being a recorder player, I suspect it was probably made for things like that. It's got quite a high serial number there, like I mentioned before, 31831. So there must be quite a lot of these out there somewhere. The only one I spotted, like I mentioned before, was the one on eBay in America, and that had a model number of VTC-1000 and a different name on it. I forgot to check actually to see if that had finished, if that ended on eBay. I think it had it on for sort of $180, something like that. Well, I guess that just about brings me to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed watching that with me. I was quite lucky on this occasion that there wasn't much work needed to be done. Fingers crossed it'll keep on working, and fingers crossed this recording looks okay. Well, I guess that just needs to say, as always, thanks for watching, and until the next video, I'll be seeing you. And if you did enjoy watching this video, you may want to take a look at some of my other videos on similar themes. I'm always buying something on eBay, some old piece of technology, and trying to repair it. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thanks for watching.